Hey, it's a special, inaugural, first time ever. Hafeman Bros special. Pooh show. For the first time in person. We're here. And we have a special guest. Ben, who's our guest? Give him the mic.
This is honorary Hafeman Bro, who also is actually got Hafeman blood, but he's a Kerbal. Our nephew, F from Kerbal. Let's give it up for this guy. He's a Packer fan. Who's your favorite Packer? Let's hear it.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. The most dominant player that Aaron Rodgers has ever played with.
Classic.
But that's okay, because these young guys, they need to learn stuff. That's okay. All right. Take it away. Why do you like Devontae Adams so much? Here you go, F from me.
I like him because he can receive long passes, and also because he doesn't drop the ball when somebody throws it to him.
Whoa.
Okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. You need to watch Hafeman Bro. You obviously don't watch our show, because if you do watch our show, you'd see that I clearly showed two plays, the last two passes that were thrown to Devontae Adams in the game prior to this last one. Yeah. He dropped them. So what's your excuse for that, Mr. Devontae Adams?
Okay, he doesn't.
Is it selective memory? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, selective memory.
Okay, that's okay. I do that all the time. When I was your age, your grandma would tell me stuff, and I would sometimes selectively forget what she told me. It happens all the time. So that's okay. You can do that. We're good with that.
Can we have another? Who's your favorite Packer offensive lineman? My favorite position group.
I don't know.
Dude,
I don't really
don't tell your parents to let you stay up later on Friday nights and watch our stinking show, bro, because they could hear about Lucas Patrick all day long. The guy they want to kick out of the starting lineup again. All right, should they kick Lucas Patrick out of the starting lineup and start Josh Myers, or should they leave LP in there because he's doing so good?
Okay, I want to see proof of why they want to kick him out. I want to see proof.
The proof is from Aaron Rodgers saying, "Oh, Myers coming back," and all the other guys saying, "Well, Josh Myers is so good," and Bruce saying, "Myers is way more talented than Patrick. You get him out of there," and blah blah blah. Shut up, Bruce. Shut up, Bruce. All right, tell Bruce. Shut up.
Well,
it's okay. It's okay. Your parents aren't watching.
Well, just because you think he's better doesn't mean he's always better than him.
What Ephraim is trying to say is, sometimes talent is not the only thing you need in a football player. Sometimes it's smarts, it's experience, it's leadership, it's the ability to, take all the guys on the offensive line and make sure they know what they're doing.
True.
And Myers doesn't have that experience Luke Patrick has.
Straight up.
And that's what Ephraim's trying to say. He had to ESP it to me so that I knew what he was saying, right? That's what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look,
see, there you go.
Here's the legit situation with this, because it's really important. The center position. You know why they call it center? Because it's the center of everything. Who's the only other person other than the quarterback that touches the ball on every play? Every play. He's in the center of the line. He touches the ball every play. He would be the
quarterback.
Other than the quarterback, he snaps the ball to the quarterback. What would you call that dude? Do you know football? I know you play basketball, but come on, let's get a little football, bro. Come on.
I don't play basketball, but I don't know.
All right, it's the center. And at this point, it's been Lucas Patrick, bro, is what I'm telling you. So Lucas Patrick is the man, okay? Yeah. Not because he's the most talented, but because he's awesome, and he tries hard, and he gives it his best. And he knows how to make the guys on the other team mad because he keeps blocking them till the whistle and sometimes after the whistle. He gets choked by Aaron Donald, but kind of over-exaggerates it, but then shakes it off.
That was a good move by him.
And
that's veteran leadership and veteran savvy right there.
And Aaron Donald wasn't kicked out of the game, but that's aside the point. Anyway, Lucas Patrick, here's the deal. He's got all those guys working together. He's got the two young, inexperienced guys who now have started to figure out, gotten better. He's held them together. And why? Because he's helped them along. And number two, he's going to be cut from this team next year. He's not going to be on the team. So this is Lucas Patrick's season. Let him finish it. He has helped you carry. Everyone wants to talk about how Aaron Rodgers has helped carry this team to the number 1 seed. Well, I say Lucas Patrick has helped carry this team to the number 1 seed. Let him finish the job this year. Then you ship him out of town after he wins the Super Bowl. Josh Myers, you can start next year, bro. Next year. What do you say that, Mr. Ephraim?
I agree with you because he's done really good so far.
Straight up. Now you're making sense. I like it. What other sense you got? Who's your favorite? If your favorite player is Devontae Adams, who's your second favorite Packer player?
I'm gonna have to go with Aaron Jones.
I didn't even have to whisper. I was going to whisper it, but I didn't even have to. He just knew. That's right. That should be, by the way, that should be your first favorite player, but that's besides the point. We're not going to say that.
I would disagree. The guy I just talked about should be your first favorite player.
No, Aaron Jones.
Anyway, go ahead. Aaron Jones, what do you got? Why do you like him?
Because he always
See, Rick's in the chat there. How you doing, Rick? LP. He gets it. Go ahead with Aaron Jones. I'm sorry.
He knows what he's trying to say is Aaron Jones is the most respectful. He always says, yes, sir, to everybody, even to women. It's kind of weird, but he does that. It's okay. But he's the NFL Packers representative NFL man of the year because he is the man of the year every day of his life. Unlike Aaron Rodgers, who should be NFL jerk of the year. If they had that, they should be the NFL jerk of the year, Aaron Rodgers.
Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Everybody wants to talk about him. What are your thoughts, young Padawan?
Okay, so I think he shouldn't have lied that he didn't get the vaccine. He should have just gotten it and just not have complained about it.
Good, not complaining, but the biggest thing you said there is shouldn't have lied, right? Should we lie? Should we lie and deceive people and mislead people?
No.
Very good. That's a correct answer.
Never lie.
That's a person with character, Aaron Rodgers, in case you haven't seen one. Here's one right here. He just told you, don't lie, bro. What else you got? Okay, let's get back to your man. Aaron Rodgers, we don't need to talk. Enough people talk about him. We might talk about him a little bit later, but let's talk about Aaron Jones. Why do you like him? Is it because he does things that seem to be impossible physically to do? Like how he leans his body. He cuts off the wrong foot, leans his body the direction you don't expect. And because of that, he's elusive.
Yeah, I agree with you because sometimes he does stuff that I didn't think were possible.
Do you ever try to replicate Aaron Jones' moves, like say in your house or maybe at school?
Definitely not.
Okay,
it's impossible.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You might pull something.
I think I would either break my bone or pull something. You would either break my bone or pull something.
You don't want to break any bones. You don't want to pull anything. I've done it a couple times. It hurts.
Leave those things to Aaron Jones.
A couple times?
Yeah, you don't want to know. I try not to talk about it. One time I had an ankle. It looked like a baseball. It was weird. It was not good. I tried to jump. I normally have a 2-inch vertical. I actually got 3 inches off the ground that time. Came down really bad on my ankle. It was bad.
Why did you even try and do that?
I was going for a rebound in basketball.
Hey, Hafemans have a history of getting injured going for rebounds in basketball. Just
true.
Ask Grandpa.
Yeah, I know that. My mom also had an injury while doing that too.
Your mom was a good rebounder in basketball.
Your mom shattered her leg, dude. That was like one of the craziest basketball injuries I ever saw in my life. It was insane.
It was bad.
But one of the other craziest ones I had to witness in front of my face was Grandpa at like 61 or 62 playing pickup basketball after fantasy football, because that's what we did. We always worked in basketball as well. I don't know if you knew this story. And Grandpa normally, just kind of shuffles along, doot. And then you pass it to him once in a while. He puts up a 3-pointer, makes 2 out of 3 every single game. 2 out of 3, Grandpa was always good for.
Good 3-point shooter.
That's good. That is really good.
That's better than Steph Curry, I'll tell you that.
That's efficient. And Grandpa was always efficient. But the one thing Grandpa didn't do was run or chase after things or try to get a rebound. But all of a sudden, like we had just started the game. And when we play basketball, we miss a lot of shots. So there's a lot of rebounds, a lot of rebounds because we miss a lot of shots. And Grandpa decides there's this loose ball that clanks off the side of the rim. And he's wearing, number one, he's wearing sandals.
That was a total bad idea.
Exactly, total bad idea. But when we thought he was just going to shuffle around and shoot a couple 3-pointers, it was okay. But he's wearing sandals and he takes off like faster than anyone else on the court. We're all 30 years younger than Grandpa, and he like takes off flying after this loose ball to the corner. And he ends up tripping because he's wearing sandals, and he puts his hand down, and all of a sudden I heard, oh, I think I split my fingers open. And he did, because he put his fingers down to catch himself, and then when he looked up, in the inside of his fingers right here, all you saw were all the white tendons, bro. It was super gross. You probably would have vomited. Uncle Ben wanted to run away and cry.
I went like this. And I had to get your mom, and your mom was like, okay, well, let's see what's going on here. And I was like, Sarah, you deal with this. So I had your mom was there. Thank God she was there because I was freaking out.
Okay. Now, I don't know how she was that calm.
She was calm, bro, because everybody else, because she saw Uncle Ben, she was like, okay, somebody's got to be calm here. But do you want to know, that was also the shortest basketball game in Hafeman Bros history, because it was one shot, one missed shot, one Grandpa diving after the ball, splitting his hand open, and we're done.
Okay, that's
everybody go home.
Short. That's short.
Yeah. Your basketball games are longer, right? Tell us quick about that. How long basketball games you play?
I have 3 a day, and they're like usually 1 or 2 hours after another, and I think they're at least like an hour long, all of them.
Dang! All right. So how many shots do you take, and how many shots do you make?
Well, I don't really shoot. I usually just pass to my other teammates because it's more efficient than just dribbling.
I also prefer not to shoot. I prefer to pass. It's a good way to play, unselfish, set up your teammates, right? Do you play hard and play good D?
It depends on how good the offense is.
All right. Let me ask you this. First off, if the guy's really good, you should check with Uncle Ben about the way he likes to play D, because it's a little different than most people do, but it is effective at slowing people down.
Yep. What I do is I elbow him in the gut like this. Here, stand up. I need you to stand up. I'll show you. So first you got to go like this. You go, okay, that's the first one. Then if you have the ball and you want to shoot it, then you have to go like this. And then shoot it. And then shoot it over the top. But here's the other thing. If you're going for the rebound and you don't want them to get it, then you got to do this. You got to step on their foot. And then you get the rebound. Okay? That's the key to getting. So when you want to get a rebound, you step on the guy's foot. You want to get a shot off, you got to smack him in the face. If you want to play good defense, you elbow him in the gut. What do you think about that?
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
And if if Uncle Ben had the ball and he wants to attack you with his dribble, he'll just kind of slam his body into you. Like you're the defender and you're standing there, waiting for him to move. And instead of going right or left or kind of around you, he just goes right at you and plows into you and knocks you backwards. And then he's got the advantage, then he can shoot. So now all of these strategies Uncle Ben telling you, most people would consider those fouls. But Uncle Ben considers those good defense and good offensive plays.
Okay.
All right. So you remember that. Take that to the court. Next time you got a game, try some of that Uncle Ben stuff, and then just say, hey, my uncle told me to do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you can blame it on me. That's fine.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, bro. You got anything else for us, or should we talk? Should we talk about some other Packer stuff?
We should probably talk about some other Packer stuff.
All right, we got to get Uncle Ben's take here. Uncle Ben, what do you want to talk about? Anyway, I forgot. We got excited with our guest here. So this is actually in like 3 years almost doing Hafeman Bros on YouTube. This is the first time we've been in the same place at the same time. It is Hafeman Family Christmas this weekend, and we are all in the same location. And this is the first time Ben and I are together doing a show. Heads up.
It's been 3 years? It's been 3 years?
I thought you were our first subscriber and that you knew it was 3 years. What's going on, bro?
I didn't know it was 3 years because I didn't really keep track of the year.
Wow.
Support from our family, right?
That's craziness.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Bernard's in the house.
Bernard's
How you doing?
in the house. What's he got? Well, I know this much.
Oh, Bernard doesn't like us. Okay. I don't know what you're even talking about, bro. What are you talking about, Bernard?
He's mad at us again?
He's lost a bunch of respect for us because of Rodgers. He says Rodgers MVP. Look, we're not saying Rodgers isn't MVP. We're not saying Rodgers isn't MVP. He can be. I mean, I prefer Johnny Taylor myself because I think he's having an awesome season. But or maybe the co-MVP, the Brett Favre with the running back. That's fine. I would pick him over Tom Brady, but you know, I've never said he was an MVP. I just don't like the guy as a person. That's all.
I would say
Don't hate on that.
I mean, I've been saying he's a jerk for 3 years. If anybody's watched this show, but I still think he's a finalist for him. He's one of the best guys in the league, and he should be up for MVP.
It's a great player.
Now, the guy what's his name? Herbish Mugish. I can't remember his name.
Herb Arkish.
Hub Arkish, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That guy wants to hate on Aaron Rodgers and like whatever. Like he shouldn't have a vote. Like I've never even heard of this guy in my life. Like what does he do? Apparently he's a Bears guy. That's the other thing. This whole thing happened because he was on a Bears show and he was trying to like, it'd be like if we were doing something and we were like, like let's say the Packers, like how I say Matt Ryan stinks all the time, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Well, if that was put out there in some place, or if I say Justin Jefferson stinks, right? Even though I'm totally wrong about that, and I thought he was going to suck, and he's actually good. Well, people put that out there and make it a national story. I'd look like a moron, right? Well, that's what happened to this Hub Arkish guy. He's just talking to the Bear fans, saying, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers is a jerk. He's not going to get my vote." Well, he just said that like that on a Bears show, and then it turned into this big thing. So the other thing that's really important is this. I mentioned this in the comments with Jason and in the stream we have with Bruce and Agus and those guys.
Hey, David's here again. How you doing, David?
The
South Mississippi in the house.
is a big thing, right? It's a big thing. But we all have to remember Matt Ryan won the MVP one year. So is it really that great? I mean, Matt Ryan won the MVP.
Cam Newton too.
Well, yeah, but Cam Newton was at least like a freak of nature.
Yeah, it's true. But
Matt Ryan is what? He's like Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Straight
I
up.
mean, what's the deal with that? So I would say, Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the guys who can get the MVP, yes. Jonathan Taylor's having a good year, though. Cooper Kupp is breaking all the wide receiver records. That's something.
Tay is not that far behind, though. So can you really say, when I looked at Johnny Taylor, look, Bernard, don't get all whacked out here, man. We're not Skip Bayless, all right? Look, our issues with Rodgers have been about his conduct, the things he says, the things he's done, the actions he's taken, not on the field. It's just, I want the leader of my team to be a high character guy, a guy that's supposed to lead everybody. I want to be a high character guy, and Aaron Rodgers has shown that he's more interested in self-preserving, but also, making himself the focal point of the offense. I mean, that's fine. It's working. It's working most of the time. But this is also why I want to tell Ben this, because we were on, we have some exchanges during games and stuff with a group of people. And people are like, oh, you got to stop throwing it here. Oh, pass. And we had a bad end of the drive or whatever. And this last game, I was like, no. Pass all the time. Devontae Adams, 20 targets. Because that's what this team has to do this year. Aaron Rodgers wants to be the man, then be the man. And then if you don't finish it out this time, Aaron Rodgers, no one's going to make excuses for you, bro, because you put it all on yourself. You and Devontae Adams, this magical connection. Throw to him all the time. Change the plays, change the routes. Great. You're thinking you're using an advantage there? Then show me that advantage is going to equal a Super Bowl, and then I'll give you I'll back off you. But it needs to be. Don't worry about the running game. Running game is secondary. Aaron Rodgers is number one. Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams should be 20 to 25 times a game. And if that equals a Super Bowl, then great. And if it doesn't, then you own it, Aaron Rodgers, and you don't point the finger at anybody else.
Okay, now that last part I can agree with, but the other part I cannot agree with. It's listen, I don't know what's going on. When you watch the last game, and I just mentioned this a little while ago.
Thanks, Bernard. I appreciate it. He says he loves us now.
Oh, okay, thanks, Bernard. Well, Bernard, he's the guy who's always there for us. Bernard, you're always there, man. You're the man. We all know that. Sometimes I think you just say Kevin King stuff to make, to say like a joke or whatever, but otherwise we know you're the guy. But the thing I was going to say was when Rodgers passed to Devontae Adams in that last game, He's throwing 25-yard dimes where Devontae's not even open. Like, he doesn't even get open. But the pass is so perfect that it's like insane. And then he throws a 5-yard dump off to Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones has to shoestring catch it. Like, what's going on? Why is it that he makes a perfect pass to Devontae Adams numerous times, and then when he throws to Aaron Jones or MVS or Alan Lazard, sometimes he's throwing off his back foot. He's not using his proper mechanics. He's just throwing some random crap, and they're bad passes. The easiest way is to throw the guy when he's in stride, and then he keeps going, right? That's one thing that scares me. It seems like Rodgers is like being perfect with Devontae, and maybe not so much with other people. I don't know.
Young Star Wars fan has a take here. What do you got?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is I'm thinking that Aaron Rodgers is passing to Devontae Adams because he thinks that Devontae is the only one that can catch it, and he throws bad passes to everyone else because he thinks that every pass he throws should be caught, but it's really that not every pass should be caught in football.
Okay, that's true. Not every pass should be caught. So basically what you're alluding to is the old James Jones trick, where if you make it a good pass to him, you're afraid he's going to drop it. So you make it a hard pass, so he's really got to concentrate on it. And that's what you're going with? Is that what you think? James Jones syndrome?
Kind of.
Okay, that might be true for guys like EQ and some other guys that really need to focus on catching the ball. Maybe even Lazard, I don't know. But for Aaron Jones, the problem is Rodgers always looks to him too late.
Yep.
So he should look to him earlier. He doesn't. And so that's why I think the passes are bad, because it's like his last step. And then he's like, oh, I'll throw it over here.
And it's weird. If you notice, though, in that last game, in the second half, he actually got the ball out sooner to A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
And hit A.J. Dillon in stride. And A.J. Dillon's picking up 11 yards and 8 yards on
Straight
a couple of swing passes. And I don't know if Devontae wasn't in the game at that point or what. Like, I don't know if it's because he's waiting for Devontae to get open and he's not, and then he decides to just throw it over to Aaron Jones without even looking. There was one time where he didn't even look when he threw the ball to somebody. I don't remember what play it was, but It was pretty bad and it wasn't even close.
I think I got a better idea now.
Okay.
I'm thinking he just wants to throw it to Devontae Adams because he knows that he'll catch it, but
except for the last two plays of the game. But go ahead.
Except for the last two plays of the game.
Yep, okay.
But he's just throwing it to the other players because they're the closest ones to him.
In some cases, that's true.
And also, I'm thinking he's throwing bad passes to them because he doesn't have enough time to throw them.
So you're right. Some cases, it's a la Royce or whatever gets in there, and that's what happens. You don't have that much time. And look, playing quarterback is probably one of the hardest jobs in the world. Definitely the hardest job on the football field. There's a lot of information to process, a lot of options. You got to think about a lot of stuff. I get it. You can't always be perfect. No one's asking you to be, man. We're just asking you to throw better passes to Aaron Jones so he can get all the yak too, because he's pretty good running with the ball. I mean, right? He's pretty good in space. I think that's fair to say.
It's for this team to be good and to win in the playoffs coming up. They need Rodgers to get the ball to Devontae, yes, but he also needs to spread the ball around. He needs to follow the progressions. He can't sit on Devontae for too long. Get the ball to AJ Dillon Dillon and get it to Aaron Jones and whoever else that can help out the team. DeGuara's got to catch the ball when he's throwing a touchdown. I mean, that was bad.
That was rough.
But I will say one more thing that I was really happy about was Lazard looked like a 6'5", 225-pound receiver in that game, especially with that touchdown. That was awesome. Where Rodgers just threw it up there, and Lazard went up and grabbed it, a contested catch. Usually Lazard shrinks in those type of positions, and he doesn't catch it, drops it. Doesn't even try. Doesn't get through, fight through, muscle through the fight through the defender. That play, he muscled through the defender, got high pointed the ball, made the catch, came down with it, touchdown. And I think Lazard has gotten better over the last couple of weeks as far as a contested catch receiver, because let's face it, he's not going to get open with his route running.
Right, or speed.
Right. So he needs that contested catch, and he's showing that he's got the strength, and it's starting to show up a little bit more. And that's a key help that I think will be great, especially in the cold. And if you can get him moving, like no one's going to want to tackle a 6'5", 225-pound receiver when he gets moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would like to see a couple more passes to him, like they do to Devontae, where like they do the wide receiver screen to Devontae. How about a wide receiver screen to Lazard? You know, and maybe only have one guy over. Have like DeGuara over there blocking or something. Maybe MVS. MVS will block hard for him, but not Devontae. Devontae won't block for jack squat. But anyways, those are all. I mean, there's a lot of positive things we can look for. I don't really know what to look for in this next game. Like it doesn't count. Like it almost feels like it doesn't even like it's not even a game happening. Like who gives a rat stallion or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Except the Lions are going to play hard. You know that. And
Yeah,
that's
but
the
I mean,
one thing.
but it doesn't matter.
So the
game doesn't matter.
The outcome doesn't matter. Which is the other weird thing that happened this week, which I guess we probably have to talk about. Do you think, Mr. E, Mr. Star Wars guy, do you think that the Packers' star players should play in a game that doesn't even matter to the outcome of their season?
I think they should, because I think one of my classmates, they said that the Lions beat the Cardinals, or was it the Ravens? Okay, they beat the Cardinals, which is I forget. They were like really good in our league, so I'm thinking they should play their best players just to make sure that if the Lions played like they did against the Cardinals, that they still secure a win.
So you want to win, right?
Yes.
Okay, I understand. And most fans want to win. It was just a really interesting dynamic because after the end result of the game against the Vikings, I don't know how many fan comments and media comments and former player comments I saw that, well, Rodgers, all these guys will get a bunch of rest next week, and then they'll get the bye week and all this sort of stuff, and 2 weeks off. And some people a little concerned that's too long. Other people thinking that'll be good for them to refresh and heal up injuries and things like that. And then Mr. Aaron Rodgers came out before his head coach got to talk and said, well, I expect to play next week. I'm gonna be out there on the field playing. And then they got to Matt LaFleur and they're like, well, Aaron says he's playing next week. What's going on with that? And then Matt LaFleur's like, well, I guess we gotta, figure it out. And we gotta consult with our players and take their input and blah, blah, blah. But that almost seemed to me it was head coach Aaron Rodgers deciding he was going to play before his head coach got a chance to make that decision himself. What do you Packer fans out there think? Should the head coach make that call or should the player make that call? Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah. I think the coach should make the call because the coaches are the ones that kind of like coordinate the team. The coaches should make the decision just in case their best players get like injured.
Okay, wait a second. How old are you, Ephraim? How old are you?
This is reference.
9. It's reference.
9. How is it that this guy who's only 9 is smarter than Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers should not play in this game. He's too valuable.
He's gotten hurt in Detroit multiple times in his career as well.
Yes.
Hello.
And that Detroit, everybody knows the Detroit field is like cement. And that's like he got the concussion that one time, just bouncing his head off the freaking ground of the Detroit field. It's practically cement with like a little bit like this much of rubber on top. And then you see all little rubber beads bouncing around whenever guys run and stuff. It's not a good field. Like keep Aaron Rodgers off. And not only that, the last time Aaron Rodgers' last game was in Detroit, he threw 19 incompletions, had 16 overthrows, had the worst game in NFL history.
At least by him, yeah.
No, by anybody. And then that led to the Goody drafting on Jordan Love because that was the last game he played in the regular season. So you tell me, you think he should play against the Lions? No, he shouldn't play. Neither should half the other guys. Aaron Jones, no. A.J. Dillon, maybe even no. Devontae, no.
Right. This is your game to get those other guys who've been sitting there waiting, and see if they can play. Stick them out there because they haven't played in forever and they need some game reps to get up to speed before you go into the playoffs. So Josh Myers, fine. Let him start this game, but not the next one. Get David Bakhtiari out there if he's ever going to play for you this year. Get Jair Alexander out there if he's going to play for you. And no, Z, you can stay on the bench. That's fine. Z, we don't need you.
Z could be a third down pass
at.
rush specialist, and that's it. And that's fine if he does that.
That's true.
I don't want him doing anything else.
That's true. He's probably better on the pass rush than Tyler Lancaster or Dean Lowry. So inside pass rusher, third downs.
Yeah.
That's what Z can be for this team. So get him some game reps this week too if you're going to play him. Otherwise, come on, man. No, you guys know. And I know Devontae Adams is super close to the record. And I know Aaron Rodgers, wants to be out there with his guys, as he says, or whatever. And I also understand the concerns about, hey, when this team has a bye week, sometimes they come out slow. In a playoff game, you don't want to come out slow. But
they're going to have a bye week either way.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers isn't going to forget how to play football. None of these experienced guys are going to forget how to play football. They're going to be fine. Plus, they're going to have home field advantage, and they're going to have an opportunity to practice and not have to travel. And they can increase, that was one good point. So I don't know. Do you know who Mike Tannenbaum is, Ben?
Yep.
Okay. He says a lot of dumb stuff.
Yep.
He doesn't make much sense most of the time. But in this case, when they're grilling him about Rodgers saying that, would you play him? And he's like, absolutely not. He's like, you don't play him. And then he was spot on. He said, you can do things like maybe make more competitive practices and speed up your practice a little bit to get him a little bit more game-like reps. But you don't play the guy. You don't risk it. You don't put him out there in a game that means absolutely nothing to your season. So especially, the Lions are going to play hard.
I mean, if they had a way where this game meant the difference between number 1 seed and number 2 or number 3 seed,
right? Then
you play them. But it doesn't mean anything. They're going to get the number 1 seed no matter what. So just rest all your guys that make a bunch of money that are super important, and bring up a bunch of guys who aren't as important, and let's just get some rest. Let's not have them get hurt. If Aaron Rodgers he doesn't have to practice ever, right? He hasn't practiced in a month, right? But he still goes out there and plays every week. What's the difference between not practicing all week or having a couple weekends off and then comes back and plays? I'm sure he can be fine. I'm sure Aaron Jones will be fine. I'm sure, all these guys who need to play or who don't need to play because they're veterans, they'll be fine. Okay? Right. Give Adrian Amos the day off too.
Running backs, a great point. Running backs take a beating throughout the year, and you need those guys. So let Patrick Taylor get a bunch of work in this game. Let him go. He's a big, strong kid. He's hardly played. He's ready to go. Let him run. See what he can do. What do you got, buddy? You want to say something?
I just have a prediction for the Super Bowl.
Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. All right.
Super Bowl.
We're jumping the gun all the way to the Super Bowl. Let's do it.
All right, go for it.
Okay. I don't think the Buccaneers will make it because earlier this year, I could be wrong, but they lost to the Ravens, I believe. Or was it that?
They lost a few games, yep. And actually, they got shut out in a game 9-0. Where good old greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, couldn't even score a single point, bro. What do you think about that?
I don't even think that they'll be able to make it to the Super Bowl if that happened.
That's right, because the Packers are standing in their way. That's right, bro. You got it. Packers this year, Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, David is saying that we're saying that we are just going to lose the game. Are we insane?
I'm not saying we're going to lose it.
Bernard is saying let them play. Listen, man.
Okay, tell me why.
They don't gain a single thing from it.
Right. So I understand this part too, and people have said this, okay? Because the NFL, it's not like baseball with 100 million games in a season. It's not like basketball even with that many games. You get 16, now this case, 17 regular season chances to play and perform. And I understand. You can say, look, all of these are valuable because they only happen once a week or whatever, and it's a limited number of opportunities. However, we just talked about it. You've seen it as Packers fans. Aaron Rodgers they run this offense, but Aaron Rodgers runs so much on the field and makes so many adjustments on the field to hopefully bring the Packers into advantageous situations that he is critical. Without him, this offense cannot function like it does. So you absolutely cannot risk him getting injured in a game that means nothing at the end of the season. What matters is the playoffs, guys. Like, I get it, as fans, we want to be entertained. Every week should be great. But right now, do you want another season that ends with no Super Bowl? And would you want a season with no Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers got hurt in this game? That's too strong of an argument to me to not play than any argument I could hear from anybody saying to play. I'm sorry.
I mean, 13-3 NFC Championship loss, 13-3 NFC Championship loss, 13-4 or 14-3 Super Bowl win. That's what I'm looking for. Whether they win or lose on Sunday, it doesn't matter to what standing they're going to take. They'll still get the number 1 seed. They'll still get home field advantage, and they'll have their guys rested up and ready to go, and none of their stars will get hurt for sure on a crappy field against a team with a bunch of scrappy dudes who all they would love to do is just hurt somebody because they don't have anything to play for. What's the point? They know that if they win, it doesn't matter. If they lose, it doesn't matter.
We're just lucky there's no Dominican Sue still on the team because he tried to take cheap
true.
shots and hurt people.
At least these Lions are like good guys. But they work hard. They try hard.
Yep. Stuff can happen. Stuff can happen in games.
Yeah, and that's the difference between like the Jaguars and the Lions. We've talked about it before. Like Dan Campbell, those Lions believe, like, they lose, but they work hard for Dan Campbell. They believe in him. Where Urban Meyer, he had to get out of town because the Jaguars were like, they didn't try for that guy. They look like a bunch of scrubs out there, and they're even worse now. But I don't know what's going on with that. But so just understand that's what we're thinking. If there's no actual gain that can happen from the outcome of the game, why risk the huge loss that could happen when there is no gain you get from it at all?
And we're gonna go to our buddy here in a second, but I know on a bunch of times, Hafeman Bros, we don't make a lot of sense. People, I get it. Sometimes you guys don't see what we're talking about or in line with it, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, I don't know how many people I saw in comments after the Vikings game result say, oh, it's going to be nice to see Jordan Love next week. Oh, I can't wait for that. Or, man, it's going to be good to let Rodgers rest up that toe and all this stuff and any other ailments he might have. Or maybe not throw another 40 passes or take those extra 5 or 6 QB hits that he otherwise would take. It's going to be nice. And then all of a sudden, he comes out with this. The whole discussion of the week changes to let him play, let him play, let him play. I just want you guys to ask yourselves, right after the end of that Viking game, is this what you were thinking? Or were you influenced by this discussion of the week? Because I don't know. And I understand 2 weeks, you worry about it, but I'm not worried about this team coming out flat in the playoffs, even with key guys on 2 weeks rest. I'm not worried about it because they're experienced, because they're at home, and because they've come up short the last 2 years in a row. They better not come out flat. If they lost the last 2 times in the championship game, they better not come out flat no matter what. And I believe in that. Buddy, what do you got?
Okay. What I'm thinking for this next game is that the Lions will actually try to lose because this is what my mom said. The Lions will try to lose so that they can come back in the whatever.
The draft? Get a better draft pick?
No, it was like when they come back, like the...
Oh, you mean they're going to try to they're going to try to get a comeback?
Yeah.
Comeback win? Big comeback win to finish their season? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. Like the Vikings, they probably wanted to lose. So that,
Oh, yeah, they did. They played like they wanted to lose last week, didn't they? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Because they wanted to lose so then they could come back in the other when they could come back. And then also the reason I think the Packers should put at least a few of the star players that they don't need into the next game is because you should just they need to win because the Rams or the other second people in the division, they're going to try and win all of their games too.
So we need to win in the playoffs, is what you're saying there, which I totally agree with. The other thing I agree with is the Lions might think about that. This is an emotional team, so a comeback win for them, they'd probably be even more excited if they won at the end of a comeback. Now the Vikings, the thing I'll say, last week they played also like not like they wanted to lose the game, but also like they wanted their coach to be fired. That's the way they played last week. So,
Wow.
I mean, come on, that was some pathetic effort. I understand the Packers played pretty good and dominated the game, but that was some sad effort by the Vikings. They look like they want Mike Zimmer out of town. That's what it looked like to me.
I don't know about all that.
Okay, well,
All I know is this. David is saying,
what do you got, David?
play scared, then bad things happen.
True. Don't play scared.
And then David's saying that our son does not know what he's talking about. This is our nephew. And he's only 9. He doesn't quite know what's going on. It's okay. He's a special guest because he wanted to come on.
That's right. And he's made some strong points.
Some of the things he actually made more. He makes better points than most talk shows. I can tell you that right now.
He's getting worn down though.
Compare him to Colin Cowherd. I'll listen to Ephraim every day. But the thing about when you said play scared and bad things happen, that's true.
Yep.
And who's going to play scared more than a player who has no reason to be in the game because the outcome doesn't matter? So they're going to be timid, or not timid, but they'll play a little not as aggressive because they don't want to get hurt in a game that doesn't matter. So why let that guy in there? I understand your competitive nature, David. I understand you want the guys out there and rally together and do the thing and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, there's nothing to gain from it. Nothing at all. So you can believe what you want and I can believe what I want. And we can both be right and wrong, or wrong and right, whichever way you want to do it. I could be totally wrong. You could be totally right. That's fine. We'll find out.
We'll see what they do.
And hopefully whatever happens, whatever they decide to do ends up going fine and great. And we're still in the playoffs and everybody's ready to go in a couple of weeks to play the first playoff game at Lambeau, whoever they're playing against. That's really the only thing that matters. Like, we don't have to fight as fans or get upset with each other or whatever, or say, hey, you're scared or whatever, or the team is scared. None of that matters. We're just saying what we think as a couple of guys who have watched the team go 13-3, get the NFC Championship game and lose 2 years in a row. And as Jason said, without Aaron Rodgers, because of the way this team plays, they don't play as a unit on offense. It's Aaron Rodgers deciphering what to do and throwing at Devontae most of the time. So if you don't have Devontae and you don't have Aaron Rodgers, you're in trouble. So if either of those guys get hurt in this game, bad news. Bad news. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. That's how I feel too. And, it's fine. We'll, I mean, look, this always used to be I guess the other part that just bugged me is that, it was like something that he put out right away in the media and through the media. And there was like a pressure immediately applied to the coach. And I mean, I don't think that's the way to handle it. Even as a player, if you want to really play and make that known, then you go and you talk to your coach, on Monday or whatever. You don't throw it out in your post-game presser and then all the media's got it. And then they start questioning the coach and then he's got to try to answer. And he probably hadn't even thought about it.
He did look shocked because he was like, in this press conference, like he didn't know what was going on.
And it's a tough spot. So look, we just don't want injuries. I don't even want to, like you made a point before, Aaron Jones. I don't want him turning an ankle in this game or any of that stuff.
Well, he almost did the other game.
Yeah.
Or the game against whoever. Not this last one, but the one before. Here's the funny part, though. That's the only talking point leading into this Lions game is whether the guys should play or not, because nothing else matters. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like other games, you talk about, what's the team they're playing against? How good are they? What's the seeding? Blah, blah, blah. There is no seeding. We already know the seeding. We already know everything that's going to happen.
Yep.
We already know win or lose, what's going to happen. We know we don't care what the Lions do because they're the crappiest team in the league as record goes. Actually, they're not. I think they're probably like the third worst team. I think the Jets are worse. I think the Jaguars are worse. But, that's the thing that we have nothing to talk about other than whether the guy should play or not. So we've been talking about it for 40 minutes and yippee skippy, but it really don't matter.
No. And one other key point, Aaron Rodgers has been used to playing 16 games in the regular season for his whole career. Just keep it that same way this time. Just because the league added another game doesn't mean he's got to play it. He's been pretty good at 16 games. Just keep it that way. One other thing, I do have to make a qualification here. I was talking with a Cowboys fan at work recently.
Why?
Because I just wanted to ask him because the Cowboys fell in their face again. And I was asking about McCarthy. I was like, So how do you feel about McCarthy? And he's like, yeah, you're kind of just holding your breath, hoping that the defense plays well enough that they can cover up for his screw ups like during the course of the game. And he talked about the time management. He talked about, being everything we went through for 13 years as Packers fans, where he's too aggressive at times he should be more conservative, and way too conservative when he should be more aggressive. And then challenging the wrong play all the time. Like, he's still doing all that same stuff, except he's doing it for the Cowboys. And don't you want to see the Cowboys come back to Lambeau Field in the divisional round of the playoffs and have McCarthy Magic, and the movie he was in, Magic Mike, be live in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Have McCarthy go to McCarthy Way or whatever it is. What is it? McCarthy Pass?
McCarthy Way.
McCarthy Way. And get a picture with his name in Green Bay with his cowboy stuff on, and then make some blunders in the game. It'll be poetic justice. It'll be great. Let's look forward to that instead of this stuff.
I don't know. It'd be weird.
You don't think it'll happen? McCarthy Magic? Believe, buddy, McCarthy Magic is still alive in Dallas,
Dude,
Texas.
We're Packer fans. We want the Cowboys to always lose.
Yeah, why are we hoping that that Dallas Cowboys will just come back?
I would rather have. I'll say this.
I'd rather play the Cowboys.
I'd rather play the
than honest.
Cowboys than play the Eagles or the 49ers.
Me too.
Those two teams
Me
scare
too.
the crap out of me, to be quite honest.
Me too.
But we still have another week to talk about that.
All right, sorry. Anyway, hey, I like the Lions coach. I like they play hard.
Yep.
I think you should respect the team. And I hope the game, whatever happens, I hope no injuries and all that stuff. And, I hope the Packers can win. But regardless, who's ever on the field better be ready for a tough game because the Lions play hard. All right, that's all I got. Anything else before we head out?
No.
Perfect. That's the way to end the show.
Wait, I was going to say one thing real quick.
Ben, we'll go to Ben to finish.
Thanks, Bernard, for coming on. We can see you
Bernard,
on there.
Rick,
Thanks, David.
David.
David said he's 63, been a Packer fan since 1967. We can all get behind that. I'm 47, been a Packer fan since 1989.
So David remembers the dark days.
Yeah,
he remembers
was
the
there.
really good days, and then he went
Yeah,
through
the really,
bad,
really good days. And then the crap.
the 80s.
And then 1989, which is the year I became a Packer fan. Which is pretty sad because I was a Steeler fan before that. Don't tell anybody. Well, I just said it, I guess, but whatever. Anyways, thanks to you two guys for being in comments in there. And of course, Rick, who's always there. And then Ephraim's mom, who said that she never said that, by the way. She's saying you're a liar. What do you say about that? You said you're not supposed to lie. You just said that about Aaron Rodgers before. What do you have to say to your mom about her? She said you never said that.
What? I think she actually did, but she forgot.
Ooh,
That
parents
happens
forget.
especially when she gets old. She probably forgets a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's right.
You can use that to your advantage later. Don't tell.
All right. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the end of the season, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.